November is National Adoption Month, and so I thought that it would be a good time to share a video with you guys that has been a year and a half in the making. So if you guys happen to be new to my channel, my husband and I adopted our daughter Harper, and we have an open adoption with her birth parents. So she was born in July 2016. It is now November 2017. So this is a year and a half ago. I had everything for the gift bag, and I filmed me putting it together and everything, and then literally like 30 minutes after I had gotten done recording and putting the gift bag together, I got a call from Sarah saying that she was going into labor. We headed into the hospital later that evening, and Harper was born the next day at 6:08 a.m. And so we had just had a baby like immediately after filming this video, and so I never got around to actually putting this video together. So Joe and I really put a lot of thought as to what we wanted to put in the gift bags and what we wanted to say like on the cards and everything. The purpose behind these gifts were just, it was just a very small way to let them know how much we love them and how much we're thinking about them and how much we're grateful for them. I definitely have some other tips and some things that I want to mention in this video about birth parent gifts and things that you need to think about, but I will save that for a little bit later on in the video. But for now, I'll just go ahead and jump into showing you guys what we gave our birth parents in their birth parent gift bags. So we had gotten 2 gifts each for them. So 2 gifts for Ben, 2 gifts for Sarah, and then we gave them 2 or 3 gifts that were kind of for both of them. So for Ben, I wanted to get him something that he could carry in his pocket or something that he could keep on him if he wanted to. I think with birth mothers, it's a little bit easier because you could give them like a necklace or something that they could wear and keep close with them if they wanted to. But I don't think a lot of men wear a lot of jewelry, and so it was a little bit harder to find something that he could carry with him that wasn't something like a keychain. He like loves the outdoors. Ever since he was a kid, he was just always on adventures outdoors, and that's one of the things that I love about him. And so I thought that a compass was very fitting to him and his personality. And so on the top of the compass, I remember it was hard to get footage of this because it was so reflective, but I had them engrave "follow your arrow." To me, that just kind of had special meaning. It's kind of like follow your heart, but going along with the compass theme, follow your arrow. And I gave him a little note with it, just letting him know how much we loved him. Another gift idea for a birth father, if you wanted to kind of go along those same lines, would be like a stopwatch. They have some really nice ones on Etsy, and it's something that they could carry with them. The next gift that I gave him was just a pajama set. And I put a little note with it explaining my wish for him was kind of that he was able to just go home and just kind of exhale, get in his pajamas, just have it be quiet family time. So talking about notes, I guess this is a good point to bring up the kind of tip that I wanted to give. You definitely need to be sensitive with birth parent gifts. Every single adoption story and situation and the circumstances around the adoption is different for every single adoption case. There's no adoption story that's identical to another one. So when you're thinking about gifts to give your birth parents, you definitely have to take into consideration your own adoption story. These are just suggestions. There's just so many emotions behind adoption, and you definitely don't want to accidentally offend someone by gifts that you are giving them. I heard online, like there was like an adoption forum that I came across when I was like researching like good adoption gifts to give, and there was a birth mom on there, and she was saying that if somebody had just had a child who has just passed away, you definitely wouldn't want to give them something like bath salts or bubble bath. That gift could definitely be very insulting. And reading that was just a reminder to me that adoption, it's a joyous time, but it's a very, very sad time too. I think even with the joyous ones where it's a happy thing and you have a really great relationship with your birth parents and everything, at the end of the day, those birth parents are saying goodbye to their baby. And with open adoption, it's not a forever goodbye, thankfully, and that's one of the reasons why we love open adoption. But placing your baby in the arms of someone else is always going to be hard, and it's probably going to be one of the hardest days of those birth parents' lives. And so you definitely want to keep that in mind as you are giving gifts. I personally think that giving a special necklace with meaning to it is appropriate. I think that you always want to put a note with it, but I think that if someone had a child who had actually passed away and their friend or a loved one gave them a necklace to help them remember that child, I think that that's very appropriate, just using the example that that one birth mother had used. But she had also used the example of if somebody were to give you bath salts, that could be insulting. But at the same time, I think that if somebody were to give you bath salts with a note saying, I'm so sorry that you're going through this right now. With everything that you have going on, I hope that you are able to just take a moment to yourself and just breathe and just have a moment to yourself. I think that if you were to give those bath salts or a bubble bath with a note saying that, I think that it wouldn't be an offensive gift. That is the tip that I definitely want to drive home with this video, is to remember to just be very sensitive with your gifts, to remember to take into consideration your specific adoption story and the circumstances around your adoption and what you think is appropriate. And I also think that it helps to include a note with each gift, which is what I did. And I think that if you have those things in mind, I think that you will be able to put together a lovely personalized gift basket for your birth parents that they will really love. So those were the 2 gifts that I got for Ben. So moving over to Sarah, I got her 2 gifts as well. So the first gift that I got her, again, I got on Etsy. So Harper was born in July, and so I thought that it would be nice to get her a ruby necklace, which is the birthstone for July. And then next to it is a little leaf with the letter H on it. In hindsight, I wish that I had gotten an S and an H, but I had just gotten an H. And there were lots of necklaces that had like a heart next to the stone, but I really liked the idea of a leaf. Trees definitely remind me of Sarah. They just go along with her personality. You have to like know her to know what I'm saying. I know that sounds random to say trees remind me of Sarah, but they do. And so I thought that a leaf was just much more fitting than a heart. And then I had gotten the same exact necklace for Harper, and that is in her little adoption box that we have for her. It's just something that they both have that can remind each other of each other. And then her second gift was just some candles, again with kind of the same thought process as the pajamas. I found this really neat blanket that you can personalize from Forever Swell, I think is the name of it. I will have them linked down below. So they have these big tags on the blankets, and you can add a personalized message on the blanket. Joe and I thought long and hard about what we wanted to put on the tag. We definitely didn't have space to add like an entire paragraph, and what we decided to put on there was, you are brave, you are wonderful, you are loved, you are always in our hearts. Love, Joe, Brittany, and Harper. To me, that was just the best way to sum up how we felt about them and how much we admired them, how grateful we were for them, and how much we just absolutely love them. And just driving home the message that they're always in our hearts. And a year and a half later, I can tell you that that is 100% true. I think about them. I think every hour of the day. Whenever I feel that feeling in my chest, like my heart is just growing and my love is growing for Harper, they are the second thought that comes in my mind. They are truly, truly always in our hearts. We also got them a little photo book. I text them pictures of Harper and us as a family often. And so the idea behind that was that they could print those out if they wanted to and add them to their little photo book. And it's something that they could go to if ever they are thinking about her. They can go to their photo book and look through the pages. And lastly, we had gotten them a little journal with pens. I was thinking this might be helpful if they just had some thoughts and feelings that they just wanted to jot down, or even if they wanted to keep a little journal for Harper and then give it to her someday when she's older. So like I said, all of the presents had notes on them, just explaining our thoughts and feelings behind the gifts and just letting them know how much we love them. I had also put together a hospital bag for Ben and Sarah. I will have that video linked down below if you would like to do the same thing and you would like some ideas. So that's everything that we included in the birth parent gift bag. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you got some ideas. Also, something else that I forgot to say, which I actually forgot to put in the hospital gift bag, which I am still upset about, but we gave it to them later, was I had gotten a few gift cards to restaurants so that when they got home, hopefully they could just, you know, order some takeout and they didn't have to worry about dinner or anything like that. If you have put together a adoption gift bag, I would love to hear what you put in it in the comments down below so that anyone who is putting one together themselves can go down there and get some ideas. If you know of anyone going through the adoption process, I would love for you to share this video with them. So yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.